Over the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of work with redefining my offer and really including my philosophy, my methodology, and my framework in everything that I do. And I now realize that throughout the time of me building this infrastructure, I wasn't necessarily really speaking a lot about how my framework works, the methodologies that incorporate it, and effectively just showcasing the actual journey of how cohesive it is and how cohesive it's become. I spent a lot of time really digging deep into what this means for me. What does follow the phases mean as an agency? What does my work have to do with where we are currently at as far as personal branding is concerned? And for me, it all started to connect the dots when I realized that personal branding is only one piece of the puzzle. There's so many various elements to what it means to build a brand, and it's all about brand authority. And I'm going to get into that in another video, but the main reason I wanted to drop this video today is to just let you know that you need to embrace the cringe. You need to embrace the cringe, and you need to get over yourself, and you need to start producing content ASAP. And I say this because I had the same initial sort of reaction when I was told that I needed to start making content. And even more so with me working with people who are looking to raise their profile, become more visible, and become more credible in the work that they're doing. It would be a disservice of me to tell a client that they need to be producing content and they need to be online and they need to be vocal about what they're doing, and I'm not doing it for myself, right? So in September, last September, I really decided that this will be the moment where I really start to get into the habit of producing this content and get in the habit of showcasing content. And then when it sort of aligned for me to start dropping daily content and daily video uploads, then it just made more sense for the repetition side and just getting out of my head when it comes down to producing this content. And it gets a bit easy over time. I'm not going to tell you it becomes completely easy, because it doesn't. But what it does, it allows you to just have more confidence in yourself. It allows you to have more confidence in how you explain certain things. It gives you more confidence with the camera, just looking directly to speak with you, to let you know that it is imperative that you sort out the idea in your head of what it means to embrace the cringe. Because with me producing the content, and right now we're 21 days in as I'm dropping this, I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, to be fair. There's other bits and bobs I want to be sharing with you guys, but the whole point is that with these days that I'm looking in, it really allows me to develop a timeline of where I want things to go, and it's really allowed me to build a roadmap that literally just makes perfect sense. It's a roadmap that guarantees me building a £1 million personal brand. And I really want you to join me. I really want you to be involved in the journey and produce the content, because honestly speaking, it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be life changing. It's going to be life changing, but you need to be in it to win it, really and truly. And you got to treat each day. I'm treating each day as me to get a lottery ticket in. I'm getting a lottery ticket with every video, because all it's going to take is that one video that's really going to change the scope of what I'm doing and just taking things to a whole new level. And I've literally built the roadmap from day one of me committing and saying I'm going to be doing this daily content to day 1000, when it eventually just ends and I can look back throughout the whole process and realize what I've done as well. So it's not just the documentation part that's important, but you really need to document the growth within yourself and how far you've come as well. I've had people look at me like I'm crazy for saying I'm going to be producing this content. Never mind me saying that I'm going to produce it every day for 1000 days, but just the fact that I'm more confident to just put myself out there and to really showcase who I am and what I'm doing to help others as well, and what I'm building. You know what I mean? And I think being in that position where I'm building in public, it can be quite daunting. It can be quite scary, but ultimately you need to do it with a campaign in mind. Like, you need to think with your life in campaigns. And if you start to think of it like that, then it helps a lot. Like, even with what I'm doing with the £1 million visibility blueprint, that's a campaign that I'm really putting together, and I am living it every single day. So with that, it makes me think, and it reinforces the fact of what does it mean to be a person that's running a campaign of this size and this commitment. Who do I need to become to be able to do it more efficiently, or to do it more effectively, or to allow you to understand what I'm trying to say to you when it comes down to producing this content? Do you understand what I mean? So when you start looking at your life as a campaign, then it really just changes the scope of how you decide to present yourself online. And you just forget about all of the initial sort of things that you think people are going to say about you, or any of those things, because it really doesn't matter, because ultimately you should only be really seeking sort of advice or constructive criticism from people who are in a position or within your industry or within your lane that's doing better than you. And they're there to provide you some timely feedback and some advice in terms of how you're getting on and how you're building. But anyone who is looking at you directly and they are saying that you shouldn't be dropping content, or you shouldn't be on YouTube, or they're just having something to say and they haven't done it themselves, you need to ignore them. You need to ignore them and need to focus on what you're doing for yourself. Because right now, I keep telling you, the personal branding deadline, the 30th of November, 2027. And I'm going to keep screaming it. I'm going to keep letting you know, because the closer we get to that time, that's where the personal branding bubble bursts as well. And I'm going to cover a lot more in another video, just describing my thought process and the methodology behind it. But ultimately, personal branding is a dying aspect of things. It's powerful in one element, but is not as powerful by itself. You need to incorporate a formula that will allow you to have that brand authority that can allow you to build both that visibility and credibility to future-proof your brand, right? So let me just share my screen quickly for context.
Whenever you started anything, you will suck and you will be embarrassing. You will look back at yourself and you'll be embarrassed. Think about how you were as a toddler, right? If you do nothing or you do anything, people will criticize you. They'll criticize you if you do nothing. Like, think about it. If you do, he doesn't do anything, you'll get criticism. If you do anything, they're like, he's doing it, look how stupid it is. People will criticize you. So the idea is, do things that it is worth being criticized for you. And to me, pursuing goals, my own goals, is worth being criticized for. Like, if you believe that you want to make this difference, make this change, help people out in some specific way. I think Alex Becker said this, and I just love this. He's like, you have to embrace the cringe. Think about how embarrassing you are probably to your parents, or were to your parents when you were a child learning how to be a human. It doesn't mean that being human and not living is not worth doing. It just means that you have to go through that phase. Whenever
you need to embrace the cringe, and the sooner that you embrace the cringe, the sooner that you'll understand that the sky's the limit, man. The sky's the limit. All the things that you have been saying to yourself that you can't do, remove that thought process out of your head, because you haven't even tried. You haven't even tried to figure out the things that you are good at, or the things that you can improve on. Because ultimately, there's so many things that we can improve on. I spent a lot of time saying to myself that I'm not good on camera, or I'm not good at speaking, or any of those things. And it's that negative sort of reinforcement that you place on yourself that doesn't help you. It's only going to set you back. It's only going to set you back. And when you're in that position, when you are trying to grow, it's those growing pains. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel those growing pains, and it's going to feel daunting. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel embarrassing, but you have to really go through that situation in order to build, you know what I mean? And even in my previous videos, like, for example, like, there'll be videos where I just don't have a haircut or something, and I'm just not looking as fresh as I usually do. You get what I mean? But if I use that as a reason to stop me from putting out the content and from doing the work that I've committed to doing, then what does that show from me? It doesn't mean anything. My word doesn't mean anything if one thing just stops me from pursuing on the goal that I've set myself, that I'm embarking on to do every single day. And I'm gonna sit there and say, oh, because I don't have a haircut, I can't record content today. It doesn't make sense. And in that sense, you are the only person that's gonna let yourself down, because there's gonna be other people who's just gonna be like, listen, I'm embracing the cringe because what's the worst that can happen? This is training day for me. Right now, you're thinking that, oh, what if people see me? If they see you, then what? And you're worried about you getting the views automatically. You may just drop one video when it goes viral, potentially. However, in this game of brand authority and building your personal brand and building your business brand and really incorporating both of them in a way that provides that leverage and that allows you to generate that revenue, you need to produce that content. And I know that can be intimidating, but honestly, you need to do it. It's the best decision that I made, and it helped a lot with my level of confidence, and it helped me to understand what I actually have to offer people as I continue to navigate and I continue to develop in the pursuit of building that £1 million personal brand. And I built that roadmap with the intention that everything from day 1 to day 1000 is going to be everything that makes the journey what it is. And when it comes down to taking one step at a time and doing those things that scare you, do those things that can be quite intimidating, right? Do that. Honestly, after I went skydiving, I said to myself, I need to understand what my main fears are and learn to conquer them one by one without a shadow of a doubt. Because once I'm able to literally identify all of those things that make me nervous, that make me scared, that I feel is quite cringy or intimidating, or any sort of word that you want to align with that blocker in your mind that's stopping you from really giving it a good go, list those down and figure out a way that you can break them down until it becomes a thing where it's no longer scary or no longer something that you're concerned with. And I'm going to drop a video in relation to this soon. There's a diagram from Chris Donnelly, I believe, and that has been a process where I've really focused on being the best version of myself through that model that he shared in that diagram. And I'm going to share that with you because I really think that it can be beneficial for you to understand where you are within that diagram and where you can set yourself ahead for years to come. So I would say, in terms of 2 tips, I would say to embrace the cringe. You need to just get in the process of recording. Get in the process of recording and don't post anything. Just listen back to it. Listen back to it. And you need to listen back to it because you need to have an understanding of your voice, of how you look, what certain words that you say, your facial reactions. You need to understand those things in order to embrace the cringe, right? And what helps me a lot in the process of doing this content is when I get to the stage of rewatching this and I'm doing the timestamps, I really sit down and watch it from the beginning so I can actually see. And every video, it may be cringy at the time and it's cringy throughout the process, but it gets me one step closer to understanding how I can perform better and how I'm able to deliver videos in a better way based on the content that I'm providing for you, right? And also, one thing that I really need to flag before I even end this video is the fact that we are in this era where AI video is happening at a fast, rapid rate. This is literally a goldmine for people like us to showcase our authenticity through video content in a sea of AI. Honestly, people are going to be using this particular format in AI generated form to be selling their content, to be providing, selling their services or whatever it is, but they just don't have that human interaction, that heart to heart that we're having, right? And that's what you need to be able to provide for your audience or for the people who are checking for you or vouching for you, because ultimately that is the thing that's going to make you stand out right now in this era. And that's why I reinforced me recording one video and uploading one video a day for 1,000 days, because it's going to be completely me. It's going to be me showcasing the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, you know, the messy middle, all those things that I preach about and I speak about in terms of documentation. I'm providing that for you, so you're able to look at the things that I have done and you're able to implement it in a way that makes sense for you. I built my roadmap. I built my roadmap to ensure that I build that £1 million personal brand. However, what my roadmap is just for you to take ideas from it. If you implement it in the same way, you will get different results, because we just do things in different ways, right? It's like three people having the same list of ingredients and they buy the ingredients and they cook. The food is going to taste completely different. All three dishes are going to be different, right? It's the flavor that you add to it. And that's what you need to remember. The flavor comes down to your personality. It comes down to your charisma. It comes down to those quirks. It comes down to those things that you may particularly find cringy or annoying or something you may not like. But for other people that are watching you, they're thinking that's something that they like about you. That's something they admire about you, right? And you can't do that with AI. You can't do that with AI as much as you want to try. At this moment in time anyway, I don't know what the future holds, but in this time is the perfect opportunity to embrace the cringe and start producing that content, because the sooner that you become a lot more confident in your approach and you know exactly who you're speaking to and why you're speaking to them, then it's a game changer. You will never look back. And despite the days when you feel like you can't be bothered, or you're just feeling like that cringe moment is just coming back at you, you just got to remember why you're doing it. And when you live your life like a campaign, you're always going to remember what you are doing in order to get to the goals that you set yourself, right? So that's it today. I just wanted to, you know, just share from the heart and my experiences and let you know that you need to embrace that cringe and you need to just get content done, because the amount of things you will be able to achieve within the year just off the back of you saying, you know what, it's cringe, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know what will happen. And I'm saying this from a position of having so much, an influx, I would say, of opportunity just off the back of me just doing this. And that reinforces that confidence, and it reinforces the fact that I want to do this to share as much gems as possible with you, so you can also get out your head to produce that content as well. And when it comes down to it, I don't want to gatekeep, because there's nothing to gatekeep. This is something that all of us can do. All of us can do it, and it can take us to a whole new level in our lives. But all we require is that consistency and that discipline. As long as you got that, then you got everything you need to keep going and keep growing and get to your destination. So if you like that video, please like this video. Please comment down below and let me know how you have embraced the cringe, or if you're still in a position where you feel quite, you know, uncomfortable with creating content. Then drop a comment below. Get in touch with me. I'm happy to help where I can, because ultimately this is an untapped market that we're sitting on right now, or matter of fact that I'm on right now, doing these daily uploads, doing this daily content, but it only leads to better opportunity, right? But on that note, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out. Look after yourself.